don't know, in the bottom of my stomach, it was hurting so bad because I felt like I failed my kid. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's your girl wineglassandchill, and today I'm going to do a motivational talk with you guys about how I stay strong with being homeless. And I know that I said I was not going to do this video, but I really want to share the light on being homeless and all the struggles that we went through and what we went through and how I stay strong, how we as a family as a whole stay strong and got through this tough time. So I made a list of things I want to talk about. So the first thing is, a lot of people was asking, like, why were we homeless? How we became homeless? Like, the real reason why we became homeless is because the apartment complex people didn't want to rent back to us. Like, they didn't want to renew our lease. We moved in that house in October of 2022. So our lease was up in October 2023. So we stayed there for a whole year. They just gave us a non-renewal. So prior to that, things did happen. So when we lived in a townhouse, and I think I expressed this before in my older vlogs, you might guys have to go check that out, but we had a flood. So we had a flood in the townhouse. It wasn't because of us doing it. It was because the maintenance guy, I guess he was new and he didn't shut off the water. So the water was pouring from my bathroom down upstairs to downstairs in my walk area. So I went over there, and mind you that around this time it was a new company. They took over the apartment complex like company, so they got brought out. So I lived in that complex apartment for, I believe, 7 years. My baby was a year old. Malaysia was a year old. Almost a year when we did move in those. So we moved and transferred 3 times in that apartment complex. I loved and still love that apartment complex, but the people who took over, they was feeling like, you know, you have landlords, but then you have corporates. So they was a landlord and it was a corporate. So the landlord felt like they owned the place. And they really didn't. We basically, as a tenant, owned the place, okay? Because we pay rent, we live there. And so when I transferred out of that house into another apartment because we couldn't afford it, I really think they put our rent real high so we could move. It was like it was a target on our backs. So, and I'm not trying to be funny, but in reality, and I hope and pray I don't rub nobody the wrong way, but when you got people that's not used to the way you're living and they live in a different environment, they become very jealous. So I felt like they felt jealous in somewhat towards me and babe because we could afford the apartment. They knew our income. They knew everything, you know, about us. So they was like, you know, how can you afford this, you know? And I'm not trying to be funny, but our black people are not business minded. Let's just put it like this, not business minded. They become very jealous when they see somebody succeed over them. So just these people that's coming in are people from the city and they're taking over. So they're looking at us like, you live in the suburbs, you can afford to pay almost $1,800 per month for this townhouse, and I feel some type of way about you. So basically that what it was. Okay, so I was supposed to do a walkthrough. Let me back up. So we painted the townhouse, and that's on this vlog too. On this channel too. So we painted the townhouse, right? We painted it gray. I wanted to redo my house because remember, COVID happened. We was staying in the house and we wasn't working. The kids wasn't going to school. Mind you, RJ was not taking his medicine at the time, and some things happened with him far as his ADHD, and they took him off of all his medicine. So I was dealing with my depression and couldn't find out I had ADHD too, and that's why I was so stuck into a very bad depression. So Bae was like, you know what, I'm going to buy you couches, I'm going to help you, let me purchase the paint for you and stuff like that. So he was like, I get everything you need for for the living room to get redone so you could feel better. So that's what happened. So I end up painting the townhouse the gray color. All right, so this is a very key point into this moving situation. So before we moved, they agreed to do a walkthrough. So they scheduled the walkthrough and everything, right? And I'm sitting over there waiting for the walkthrough, and the manager, the landlord, never shows up, right? So I walk over there, was like, hey, I'm supposed to be doing a walkthrough and this and that. So the girl that's the landlord, she wasn't even there, but the person that was underneath her, she was there. She was like, okay, let's do the walkthrough. We can do the walkthrough. Let's do it. I'm like, okay. So I walked her through my house. And she was like, your house is good. I don't see no damages. It's perfect and everything like that. So yeah, I will agree for you to transfer. So when it was time for me to transfer, when she knew that, I think she got mad because I don't think she was planning on transferring me. And she felt some type of way because of that flood. And I felt like she got in trouble because of the flood that happened in our house. So that flood happened and she had to pay us. Like, it was damages that was made to my purse, to my kids' tablets, to everything. And they had to pay us almost $1,000-something for those damages. And I think she got in trouble for that. But she felt some type of way. So when I transferred, they was like, mind you, I was working at the bus company. And I ended up quitting because it was so stressful. Like, that bus company was very stressful. I loved the job. I loved the people there. They still begged for me to come back. But it was so stressful. I was pregnant with Ňaјori at the time. And then he was a year old. It was very stressful, like super stressful. So I ended up quitting because we was stable on income, and Bae was making enough income for both of us so I can quit, so I won't be stressed. So after that means we had to move out of the townhouse because we couldn't afford $1,800 at that time. So I was like, you know what, we need to move into a smaller house within them because I love the community. I love them. And so that's when it was like, okay, we're going to transfer you. But then the landlord, she felt some type of way because she wasn't there, and she felt like I didn't approve it and this and that. So they was really pissing me off. I never got a walkthrough to look through the house. It was a lot of shit, okay? So I had to come up with that money to transfer, okay? So basically, they charged me $1,500 to repaint my house. I stayed in that townhouse, mind you, for almost 3 years. And they recharged me $1,500 to repaint that whole house because of the paint downstairs. but they had to repaint anyways. And I got an agreement before the new people came that it was okay to paint that house. So I got charged that. I couldn't afford it. It went on my credit. So I was so mad, I cussed them out. I cussed them clean out. When I say I cussed them out for the filth, I drugged them. And I said, you know what? I can't keep doing this no more. So I think it was really personal about the reason why they didn't renew my lease. So they end up contacting, I think it's called the Fair Housing. I'm gonna have to ask Bay, but so I can leave everything that y'all need if y'all going through this, because landlords tends to do whatever they want to do because they landlords or whatever. So they end up writing the Fair Housing, which really basically wrote them up because of the situation we went through. So he went back, and us staying there for 7 years said something about us. We paid rent for 7 years. We lived there for 7 years. Don't matter which house. And we got our security deposit back for each house we transferred. So it ain't like we had a whole bunch of damages. We never did, but that townhouse. So it made it look fishy. Even the house that we moved out of, we didn't have no damages. Like, you know, they had like batteries and the fire thing. That was like, you know, they charge you off of that, like light bulbs, if it wasn't a new one in there, or if it didn't work, they gonna charge you for little stuff like that, but not no holes, not no, oh, she broke the screen door, or none of this. They didn't charge me for none of that. So they wrote them up. So when we got the letter back, she said the real reason why she didn't renew our lease is because when they try to pull out my bank account for the rent, it bounced twice. Mind you, I had the money the same day the rent was due. Rent is always due here on the 1st, right? So the money was there on the 1st. She should never counted that against me. So that was the reason why. I didn't even know the reason until we got that. So that was the reason why, right? So yeah. Let's go into being homeless. Why I could never find a house. So I couldn't find a house was because of my dumb ass decisions of what I did far as me as a person, me as a whole. So before we moved out that townhouse, I was supposed to buy a house. Y'all, I have this on my YouTube. I think I still got this video on my YouTube. So a collection dropped my credit. I got pre-approved for a house loan and everything. But what I fucked up is that I had credit cards. I'm not gonna lie. I had credit cards and didn't pay them off. I was like, fuck it. I worked hard. I got these credit cards, and you know what? You know, I'm done. I'm just gonna rent. And me being young and dumb, that's all I'm gonna say. I was young and dumb, and I'm just gonna say it. I was young and dumb, and that's why I couldn't find it, and that shit fucked my credit up. Like, fucked it up. So that was the reason. That was another reason. And people are really picky about credit here nowadays. It's not about my income. My income is there. Like, I can basically afford a 1600 house. I could do a townhouse. But these houses out here where I stay in the suburbs was going up to almost 2,000 or better. Or if it was 16, you had so many people applying for the same house because of the house shortage. You couldn't find nothing. So I couldn't find no townhouses. I know a lot of people's like, why you go back in that apartment? I could not find none. I applied for so many. They denied me, and it is what it is. That's the real reason why I couldn't find a house. I couldn't find nothing. Like, I couldn't. So bam, we was homeless. during that time, I was so depressed. Like, I was not happy with myself. Not my relationship. I was not happy with myself as a person, because I felt like I went back like 3 years. Like, I doubled back. No matter how hard I tried to take a step forward, I doubled back like so much. And I was going through it. I was so depressed, so hurt at myself. And nobody else, at myself. And it was rough, y'all. It was so rough. It was so fucking rough. I ain't even gonna lie to you. It was rough. We were struggling. Because a little bit after we became homeless, we ended up finding an apartment. The lady was like, yeah, we can get you approved and stuff like that. So we applied, and it was like, you know what? You need to put this money down. So mind you, we get paid every Friday. I keep telling y'all that me and Bae get paid every other week. So what's today? I can tell you exactly the day that I get paid. So you guys, I hope y'all paying attention, because a lot of people think that we don't get paid every Friday. We do. We get paid every Friday. So Bae got paid today. I get paid on the 26th. So we get paid every opposite weeks. So let me tell y'all how much was to put on this. Yeah, because my credit is fucked. We had to put a double security deposit down. And my credit ain't like real bad. Like, it's not bad. Like, it's not 100% like bad. I just have to pay off the credit cards. And then I'm finna tell you. Oh shoot, they ain't even got it. They ain't even got how much we paid. No, you know what? I got it on my ledger. I'm gonna tell you exactly how much we had to pay. We had to put down, and it was a lot of money. Oh my God, my camera finna die. So we had to pay double security deposit, right? So the security deposit, what we pay here was like $13 a month. We pay here $13 a month. So I'm gonna just say 13 a month times 2, right? That's $2,600 right there, y'all. Plus we had to pay another $1,300. That was almost $4,000 to move into this house. And y'all, we was broke. Like, when I say we was broke, we was broke. We couldn't even buy food. Like, it was that fucking terrible bad. Like, it was bad as ever. Like, I was so depressed. Like, y'all must don't know, in the bottom of my stomach, it was hurting so bad, because I felt like I failed my kids. And my mom was like, you know what? It's part of life. People go through this and stuff like that. And me sharing my experience, and I see a lot of people is going through this. It's not just me. And it's not, if you have perfect credit, a lot of people are going through this because of the house shortage, y'all. The house shortage. So, yeah, I was going through depression. The only thing that kept me sane in this is my fiance. He actually, so Bae lived with his mom to help his mom out. Remember, his mom lost a son. So basically, he was like, I'm finna just sit over here and help my mom. You stay here with your mom. She gonna help you with the kids, and you make sure they go to school, but I'm finna sit here and help my mom through this time, right? So that's what he did, and I applaud him for that, because he really did help his mom get back on her feet, get her head leveled, and stuff like that. So we had to go back and forth. I was missing him. The kids was going crazy because they was depressed too. Like, them not having a house, them have to sleep on a couch or in my mom's bed. We all sleeping in one bed. It was rough, y'all. It was so hurtful. Like, it was hurtful. It was so hurtful. I was so hurt. I was really hurt, like, at myself, disappointed in myself, because I just kept feeling some type of way. So y'all, I had to transfer the phone. I hope y'all can hear me. I had to transfer to my phone because my camera ended up dying. So yeah, I was really hurt. I was hurt at myself. Nobody else, no YouTubers, nobody else. I was just hurt. Okay, being homeless is not a good feeling. Having all 4 of your kids stay in the room. And, you know, I had to respect my mom's rules. I had to respect Bae mom rules. And it was rough. This was our first time ever going back to live with our parents after, you know, living on our own almost our whole relationship. So it was rough. But what kept me through was Bae. Like, he was so positive. He was like, don't worry, Bae. We got this. It's only temporarily. Don't worry about it. Don't stress over it. Don't overthink. It is what it is. And, you know, by this time, I'm thinking like, yeah, we could stack up some money. It's rough. When you're homeless, don't think about saving no money. You can't. Because I had to make sure my kids eat at his mama house and my mama house. Mind you, they have their own bills. They have their own routine. They have their own stuff they had to deal with. So I had to feed my own kids. I had to take care of my own kids. Well, me and Bae. Like, you know, when he got paid, he made sure we ate. When I got paid, we made sure we all ate. Like, it was just like that. And then we had to put up money to come up to the, come up with this security deposit, especially in a short period of time. So no, we did not save no money. Actually, I was behind on bills. That's how bad the shit was. Like, all the bills that I had, like this car note is high as fuck. Like, this van right here is high. Like, my car note is fucking high. It's $500 and plus for this damn car note. So yeah, I was behind. We had to pay storage. We had to still pay our cell phone bills. We had to still pay the internet. It was rough. All right, y'all. And even talking about this make my stomach hurt because it was so stressful. I had to, like, for my psychiatrist appointment, I had to up my depression pills because, y'all, it was rough. 𝐿 was crying. He wasn't used to this routine. His daddy usually keeps him in the morning. He's not used to getting up in the morning and sitting in a car, driving the kids to school, and then we had to drive all the way. Either we had to drive all the way back to his mama house, or we had to drive all the way back to my mom's house. He wasn't used to that. He was used to waking up in the morning, and then once I was ready to take the kids to school, he can go back to sleep and daddy would have him. He wasn't used to that. So I had to turn his car seat around in the car so I can, grab him or get his pacifier. Do y'all know how hard that shit was? Then 𝐿𝐴 was crying because he wanted to see his daddy. He was missing his daddy. It was rough, y'all. It was so rough. It was so rough. Y'all would never go through that again. So, fast forward to that. And I want to thank my mom and my mother-in-law because they the ones that really stepped up too. They helped us through it too because they allowed us to stay in their house. And I brought them stuff. I try to help as best as I could on a bill, you know. Or, you know, I told my mom to cut her internet off, and she used my internet, and I said, that's the only thing I could give. I could give you a little bit of this, you know, because we had to come up with that money. So fast forward when moving into this house. So we moved everything in this van. We moved everything, our couches. We remind you, we threw away the beds because we wanted to start over. We threw away the beds. We didn't have no beds. A lot of people said we pawned shit. We never pawned nothing. We threw shit away. We had to throw it away. Why we have to pawn if we make money? You know what I mean? That don't make sense. So we threw shit away just to redo it. A fresh start. You know, that's what I really wanted. A fresh start. So that's what we did. We threw everything away so we can have a fresh start. So when we got here, we was behind on bills. Not the rent. We was behind on bills like the car note, the phone bill, because we had to put up all this money for this house. So I was still going through my depression a little bit. And 𝐤𝐴 was crying and crying and crying. And then bam, here go my kids. Malaysia ended up having like some type of tick, and they said it come from stress. 𝐅𝐨 was having depression, and I vlogged that too when we had to go to the hospital because of his heart. He was having heart problems, and they said that all stemmed from them being homeless and being stressed. Do y'all know how hurtful that shit is to hear that your kids was stressed because of being in that predicament? Even though I was stressed, it didn't really occur to me. I knew they was stressed, but I didn't know they was hurting that bad, you know. So we was behind. We was trying to pay catch up. Like, once you get out of the homeless and you behind in bills and stuff, it take a long time to catch up on bills. Like, what the hell? Like, it took us a long time to catch up. We stayed in the house every day because we didn't have no money to go nowhere. We had no money, nothing to go anywhere. Let me make sure. We didn't have no money to go anywhere, y'all. Nowhere at all. Nowhere. So we stayed in the house. We had to film in the house. I had to do what I had to do. We've been here for almost 6 months. And these last couple months, I feel like we catched up on the bills. And it's crazy because why should it took so long? It was crazy. But yeah, I just wanted to let y'all know that's what happened. So that's how I stay strong. My partner, me telling myself, I had to really deep dive into my depression and tell myself, girl, you got this. Like, I had to repeat this to myself so many times. It's all right. It's just a phase. Hard times don't last long. I kept telling myself, and when I was making videos, I kept telling myself that. I just kept telling myself that. So when you go through anything in life, just tell yourself, girl, it's just a phase. You got this. Love yourself. I kept telling myself, I love myself. But at that point, I didn't love myself. I love myself now. I love myself unconditionally. Unconditionally. So I had to keep on telling myself that because I slipped. I was listening to positive motivation speakers and stuff. And then I would go back into my depression when I was going through it. Going through that little, you know, homeless phase. So we was homeless for like a month. And y'all, that was the longest fucking month ever. The longest month. So I just want to say this. If you're going through homelessness, stay positive. Keep going. Try to stay positive. Surround yourself with positive people. You might have to cut people off, but stay positive. Stay positive. Just stay positive. Just keep saying it's just a session, because it's not going to be there for, you're not going to be homeless forever. Okay? You're not. And just try to be as easy as you can for your kids or on your kids. Because I felt like I was kind of hard, because I was like, y'all should understand. Like, in my mind, I wasn't saying it to my kids, but I was just like, y'all should understand. But not thinking that my kids is still young and they don't understand. They don't know what the fuck going on, you know? And the things that I'm going to do to prevent myself from ever going through that is that I always got money put up. Now, with this taxes, I did pay almost all my bills off in full. So I can take the next steps to go buy me a house. Because that's what I want to do before I leave here. Or even if I have to move again and move into another apartment, or if I could find a townhouse, my ultimate goal, my long-term goal is to buy a house. Buy a house, y'all. That's my goal. That's my long-term goal, is to buy a house, so nobody can ever be like, you have to leave because we don't want you here. I don't want to live in nobody else's house that don't belong to me. Me slowly, like, none. I want to own a house. So that's all in a nutshell of our homelessness. Let me make sure I covered everything. Okay. And I do want to tell y'all that I did pay off that $1,500 that they charged me for paint in my old house. I did pay for that. So I don't want y'all to ever feel like, oh girl, you should have paid for that. Why that's still on your credit? No, that's paid for already. I'm sorry, y'all. I paid that already. I paid everything. I still got some credit card bills that I'm gonna pay for. But my long-term goal is to get a house, buy a house, and be like, look y'all, look what I did finally. That's my ultimate goal, is to buy a house and get out of this predicament. I'm grateful where I'm at. Don't ever underestimate and say that I'm not grateful for where I'm at right now. I'm very grateful for being in this apartment. And I'm very grateful. And we're going to stay here for some years until I can buy me a house. We're going to try to stay here. If they don't be like, okay, you got to leave. You know, I don't put nothing past no landlords no more. So I can't sit up there and be like, oh, they're going to renew my lease. I don't know for sure. So anything happening anytime. So I always got money put up just in case. Me and Bae being separated, it did a lot on my fucking mental. Like, I wish I can get on here and show y'all every fucking thing that Bae does. But I respect that man to the fullest. He don't want to be on camera. He don't like the drama. He's a homebody and he loves to be to himself. And I respect that. And I actually love that, because there's a lot of shit going on the YouTube that is crazy, how they talk about other people, men. So I'm actually happy for that. I love to show what I do as a mom and what I do, period. But being separated from him really did fuck my mental up. Like, it drew me and his relationship, our friendship, our relationship, our backbone, his rib bone. Like, it really made our relationship strong. It made us miss each other again, because, you know, we used to staying in the house together, you know. But when that's, like, it drew our relationship closer. No matter what the negative comments said, oh, you're homeless because of him. It's not. I'm not homeless because of him. I was really homeless because of probably my actions that I did. It wasn't him. It was not him. So, but, and y'all, yeah, I'm just gonna end this video, but I just wanted y'all to know, just keep going and just stay focused and positive no matter what the situation is. And I never want to go through that again, but if I do, I got money this time to put money on a hotel. Period. I'm not saying that I am going to be homeless, but I got money put up for rainy days, and I will forever have money put up. And I hate that, because I know a lot of people be like, you need an emergency funds, and I never knew what an emergency fund really meant until we went through this. And when I got my taxes, I was like, I'm putting money up. Fuck this. I would never be like this ever again. So yeah, y'all, let me get up out of here. I love y'all. I will see y'all in the next one.